Hello, this is First Fire Non-Assault Move. Welcome back to the 17th video in the War in the East series. That's right. We are into the second week of October. There is clear weather, which is fantastic. There's some good news and some bad news. And we'll get to that shortly. Let's just do a quick situation report and our intentions for each of the army groups. Finns, you know, it was great to have the Finns, but once they've established themselves along the Finnish no attack line, I don't know what to do with them, except just, leave them there. Hopefully that changes at one point in the war, but I don't think it's going to. Alright, so we did aerial recon, and I don't know if they could have more formations in and around Leningrad, but there are. And that is the beginning. That will herald the bad news even more. And they have definitely pushed some of the forces that were concentrated here since pretty much week 2 of the war, or week 3, to the front. Nice solid line of Soviets now, when there was only like 2 or 3 divisions that we were beating up on. Now they're all nice and fresh, and a nice contiguous line of Soviet formations here with a little interruption. As I was saying, a nice contiguous line of Soviet formations all along Army Group North's front. We haven't made any attacks, so they're recovering and getting in good order. And behind the main line of defense for the Soviets, they are starting to get operational reserves and buildups. These could be air bases and or headquarters, but unlikely. I bet there's a mixture of troops and airfields and headquarters, but still. And this concentration has not dwindled. It's still troubling on the northern flank of Army Group Center. More and more divisions are appearing for the Soviets. Any consolation, if you look at that combat value, defense value, that is because these divisions have remained in place, and they have it now a Fort 2 level at 46%. Fort 2, so yeah, they've been remaining in place. Fort 3, so that's a pretty crazy, probably, defense value. So the Soviets aren't getting past these divisions unless they start bringing 9 to 12 divisions up against us and repeatedly attacking. They haven't done that in great quantity here and there. They haven't really conducted an offensive, just attacks, localized attacks. But they're building up to maybe can start their winter offensive, prepping for their winter offensive, which is ominous. Fronting Moscow, still layers upon layers of Soviet divisions. And let's move down to our pocket. I don't know if you remember, but we had what looked like a breakout towards Orel. There was literally 4 to 5 divisions kind of scattered, sprinkled around Orel. Out of the blue, suddenly there are rows of Soviet formations that have appeared, teleported in by Orel. Where did they come from? Aerial recon did not detect this. So the fight for the encirclement, the battle, this great battle, this encirclement is going to be harder than we anticipated. Yeah, 3 divisions. Where did they come from? And to make matters worse, Kursk looked empty as well. Now there's 3, 6, 9, 12 divisions. These are all the Historically, those divisions that Soviets just kept railing in out of the depths of the motherland to their front. And I think we're starting to see the tip of the iceberg here with that. So it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a real challenge. And just imagine if we didn't do this encirclement. All these divisions would be added to the front. Okay, so let's look at the encirclement. Where are our stress points? Right here, the Soviets are looking to break out, but we have enough forces at our disposal to really seal in the Soviets here if we start shuffling around and bringing in our divisions from that we're holding by the Dnieper and these other rivers. So I think we'll be able to seal that off. The pressure is going to be coming from the outside mostly. We will probably condense our line, consolidate a little bit, give some ground, because ground is not what we're looking for. The destruction of the Soviets is what we're looking for. The center of the pocket, the inner line of ours, is looking good. I mean, we can probably thin out our defense here since there's no Soviets adjacent to us. It looks like the concentrations are north and south. This big mass of Soviets down here. And we have a lot of troops down here that I don't feel they'll be able to break out. They'll be able to attack maybe here and there, but we'll just give ground if necessary. And that should be sealed as well. So I think the sealing of the pocket with the inner line of ours is in good shape. Defending the outside of the encirclement is a concern. I mean, if they bring 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, they bring these 15 divisions up here, they're going to start getting those 9 to 12. So if they bring these divisions around Kursk, they're going to have stacks. They're going to stack up against us and start making attacks for sure. Whether we can hold out, that will be determined. I'm optimistic that we will be able to hold out, but it's still just amazing that. I mean, without having these divisions, over 50 divisions, they are still able to have a contiguous line, sometimes stacked up, with operational reserves across the entire front. That's just wow. Anyways, they're also strong here around Dnipropetrovsk, but I think we're going to pull back and shorten our lines and get over the Bazovluk River. That'll give us a little bit of added defense in that sector, and it will shorten our lines, and we'll be able to defend more in depth. And meanwhile, the Romanians will try to shorten the line as well and get down into the Crimea. That's what it's looking like. Again, it's going to be all about the pocket. How swiftly and efficiently and safely we can destroy these Soviets in the pocket. Not a single Soviet do I want to escape, because they cannot escape. Otherwise, they're just added to an already daunting amount of Soviet forces. All right, if we can accomplish this and then dress our lines and be in good order, say by, November, mid-November, then I think we'll be able to weather the storm and think about getting some counterattacks when the Soviets start mounting their winter offensive. No mud. We're going to do the best we can this turn, take every opportunity and take advantage of this clear weather and get in a good position to weather the storm. All right, I'm going to start doing some moves off camera, and I will be back. Okay, let's get a situation report. Army Group North. Start with the Finns. No change. No surprise there. Mass of Soviet forces around Leningrad. No change there. All right, in this sector of Army Group North, we pulled back to our 30-mile front and using the Pipus to our advantage. We weren't going anywhere, and the Soviets were quickly outnumbering us, and it would be just a waste of resources, manpower, material, supplies to continue the attack. So we're going to remain in place here and get some forts going. As we stay there week after week, we will start building up fortifications inherently. All right, coming down, Pskov. Changes here. I took at least 2 of our infantry divisions from this sector where they have been attacking over the past couple of weeks. I pulled them out last week and got them in refit status. So this has been worrisome, and it's going to get even more worrisome. So you can see now that the lines are a little thicker for us, a little more substantial, and I feel a lot better about that. And those reinforcements, just a mismatch of French Volunteers Regiment and a paratroop division, Fallschirmjäger. I don't know if they're actually Fallschirmjäger, Flieger Division. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I guess it's Fallschirmjäger. They are going to plug into this line as well. Every rifle counts. All right. Veliky Luki sector, no change. Just digging in, digging in, digging in. I still have this division refitting, and he will be just a local reserve to plug in case anything gets worrisome. Soviets have not, we did not advance to make contact, and Soviets had pulled back last week. I wonder if they will come forth and start getting adjacent to us again, which, could cause some concern, but we are building fortifications as we've remained in these hexes. Only a Fort 1 there, but most of these divisions have at least Fort 2. One even has a Fort 3. So this is crazy strong right here. It would take a whole lot for the Soviets to bust through here. A whole lot. And if it looks like it's threatening, we still have those reinforcements that came in. They've been just acting as a little bit of an operational reserve for us here to cover any part of the front, whether it be the northern part or the center part, where the Soviets still have a great density of formations that they may shift over and start attacking in the next couple of weeks as the weather starts to get worse and more of their formations from the far reaches of Mother Russia make it to the front. All right. So moving down, here's where the line started to really get stretched as we had Army Group Center form the northern pincer for the encirclement. But they are going to remain in place and hopefully build up some fortifications. A little gap here, but we have, the mighty 24th Panzer Corps with no less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divisions. No, 5 divisions. And we also have 5th Corps as our reserve. And we're going to potentially go over to the offensive in this area once the pocket is cleared out. Let's talk about the pocket. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, rather than wait, we started to test the Soviets and made some attacks. And it looks different, doesn't it, from what it did a little while ago after we're done our moves and attacks. We attacked the Soviets in a whole bunch of spots within the pocket, and 90% of the results were the Soviets were already surrendering, and that is incredibly great. I wasn't even going to attempt to attack because I didn't really want to start wasting men and material when we can get a lot better odds. I figured in the next week or two, as the encirclement progressed and supply and morale gets worse. But hey, lo and behold, attack down here, and generally incredible results. So I imagine if we don't have mud the next week, I'll say there's only going to be about 10 to 20% of the Soviets left in the pocket, which is absolutely wonderful. It's going to free up, oh my gosh, it's going to free up so many of our own forces to shake out, get organized, and who knows, maybe if there's some solid ground when the frost hits, conduct some limited offensives. And let's just talk about the outer perimeter of the pocket. We shifted around our forces and minimized and maximized where they were needed the most and where we could slim down the least as far as force density. And our outer perimeter is looking really good. I really like it. And mostly our tanks remained in place. So conserving that fuel. I pulled back the 12th Panzer. It was out here hanging out to dry. And I pulled back the 3rd Panzer. Who, heroes. They were the leading edge to meet up and form the pocket last week. So they are in pretty bad shape fuel wise, and they're definitely in need of a rest and a refit. All right. Yeah, this is crazy right here. How absolutely amazingly quickly the Soviets have. Oh, never mind. We just lost 50 divisions. We'll just materialize 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 more divisions. That's all right. Anyways, this long stretch of the front holding the southern flank of the encirclement, Soviets aren't in. They're only single divisions adjacent to us, so I'm not concerned at all getting attacked unless they start to, adjusting their posture and starting to stack up to get attacks. This area right here, a little annoying, but these two divisions are the only ones on there's a couple that are still on the west side of the Dnieper, but I think we're strong enough to handle that. Oh, yes. On that note, we have 2 of our own reinforcements infantry divisions and a corps that was with them. They are going to bolster this part of Army Group South's front. And we still have the resting and refitting 3rd Panzer Corps up to 89% fuel, 80% fuel. So that is great news. So if it gets a little dicey around here, they can spring into action. We pulled back. I couldn't, because we were lodged into this part of the front near Dnipropetrovsk. Pulling back next week will be fully across the Bazavluk River, and that will be a shorter front to defend, and we'll start digging in if necessary. And down here, the Romanians still, they're seizing the opportunity to get across the Dnieper and shorten the lines and hopefully reach the Crimea. But bad weather, they're very slow moving, so bad weather may hinder them. But hey, at least straightening the lines and take advantage while we can. What else? No other reinforcements coming in. Oh, we found a couple Romanians that wanted to raise their hand and said, hey, we'll go fight. So 2 divisions there. I'm probably going to use them as partisan hunters. That's why I kept this security back here, just to move around and dislodge partisans. And we found one other reinforcement, which we're moving out to commit to Army Group South. What else is going on? Talk about. So I wanted to do this. Let's scroll out. And so I talked about some good news, but territorially, historically, we're way behind at this point. I think they seized Kharkov. The Germans seized Kharkov. I think it was October. So we're very far from Kharkov, and bad weather is definitely going to hamper any operations. We don't have any forces here because this looks like it would be a nice opportunity for encirclement. So we have to do some thinking based off of how quickly we can finish off the pocket, based off of weather. So it's going to be METTC over the next couple of weeks, where we will resume the offensive, because right now we are not attacking east, just destroying all these Soviets. And there's already, I think we had, probably 10 to 12, maybe a little more divisions have already surrendered. So that's pretty awesome. So where are the Soviets, looking ahead, future ops, where are the Soviets weakest? And where are we positioned to take advantage? Realistically, before 1941 closes out. Oddly enough, this sector here is fairly lightly defended. And realistically, no progress is going to be made from the northern flank of Army Group Center to the very Gulf of Finland. So any more successes, any more advances, more than likely are going to be in this sector. So that means what? Potentially Orel, Tula, Kursk, Sumy, very unlikely Kharkov, and Poltava? Poltava could be a reality. Dnipropetrovsk, if we start to make progress in this part of Army, this would probably be Army Group South, bordering Army Group Center's front. That may loosen up the forces around Dnipropetrovsk, and maybe we could take that. They're a little too strong. I just don't have the combat power here to take these 2 cities right now. So, in big picture wise, I am already what's the word? Lamenting? I don't want to say conceding. So realistically, we will not take Dnipropetrovsk. Zaporizhzhia, the big Z. So these 2 cities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 cities, 5 major objectives, which are 3 of them very far east and very far away from us, we will more than likely, well, almost guaranteed to not take Rostov, Stalino. Maybe threaten Kharkov if we're a little blessed with the weather. So up territorially, we're pretty far behind from Army Group Center south. Are we threatening anything? Army Group Center, maybe we'll threaten Tula, Kaluga. Maybe get up there. I think that's more a reality as we reconstitute and get. And so I'm thinking of, now that we're almost met halfway, I think Army Group Center is going to take ownership of one of the Panzer Corps from Army Group South. So that's going to be some added combat power for the rest of the year. And that's about it. I think it's time to click next turn. I'm going to pause, look around, and I already did it about 5 times, but I'll do one more time, and then we'll click on the Soviets' turn. Alright, that was pretty quick. I just really looked around for like 10 seconds and said, yeah, I've already done this several times. A couple things I wanted to point out, which were, there's probably a lot of things I haven't been taking advantage of to make life easier on myself, but that's all right. That's breaking down divisions to, have regiments hold quiet sectors of the front. And if they start to dig in, they'll be really hard to dislodge. I mean, our regiments hold up pretty well against Soviet divisions at this point in the war. So I haven't been doing that. I could have been doing that. Also, I was reading up on airdrops, and I found out, I guess I just lazy and didn't look into it like I should have, but I could have been potentially supplying with airdrops fuel to these panzer divisions down here. And maybe the whole operational picture right now would have been different had those panzer divisions had fuel. But you know what? What would that have meant? We might have gotten across the Dnieper here and taken these cities, maybe even Stalino, provided how much fuel would actually reach the panzers with airdrops. But we would have missed out on this. We might have missed out on this. And maybe this is better. Maybe it's worse. Had we actually used airdrops to get some fuel to our tanks. I thought that was pretty interesting. All right. So, I think it's time to click next turn. All right, let's do it. Oh. I guess, yeah, I don't really have concerns in any particular spot. Maybe, where was it? Right here, where the Soviets have a little bit of strength to attack, but recognizing that we reinforced our tank divisions with some infantry. Alright, I think that's about it. Let's do it. Delaying the inevitable. Okay. Still nervous, but last week was stressful. Stressful. Maybe they have a big surprise waiting for us. And maybe it will be mud, which will be a bummer. Oh God. Here comes another dozen or two or three Soviet divisions out of Siberia. They're just heading to the Crimea. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I see they're about to attack. Yeah, I think our mountain division is gonna suffer an attack. We're looking at it right there. They got 12 divisions. 9. It looks like, well, again, not everything is rendered on the map during these turn executions of the Soviets. Are they really pulling back? Wow. Bryansk. Yeah. Held out. Alright, we got a couple of divisions. That is the little annoying part. $94,000 men. Hey, ay, ay. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I think the Romanians got a little overzealous. Oh, man. Yeah, I think the South is going to be troublesome for us. I know we're complaining about a couple attacks. Just wait till when the Soviets really start their offensives against us. Big pause here. Will it be mud or not? You know, I'm kind of resigned to the fact that we're going to get schwacked with bad weather. It's going to be unavoidable. Ugh. I shouldn't have said anything. Sugars. Sugar. Oh, man. Oh, doggone it. I wanted to see what the Soviets lost last turn. I apologize. I really wanted to see because a couple of those surrenders were like upwards of 20,000 men. Yeah, it jumped pretty significantly. 200,000, 2,260,000, 2,265,000. Okay. Broke 13,000 for losses. Yeah, I'm just thinking, oh man. I don't want to even click this button. Wow. Even back in Germany. Really? They the globe? It's mud. Yeah, there is no hiding from the mud. It's gonna make for a very short turn. Alright, what did the Soviets do, really? He said, hey, you don't want to fight up here? We won't either, I guess. Really not threatening any longer. Wow. No sign of the Soviets here. Do we take advantage? I guess we could walk still in mud. Can't fight. Do we want to give up our fortifications, though? I think so. I think so. Well, what's a bummer is, well, they won't be able to conduct offensives or their attacks. What it's going to be a bummer, it's going to totally delay the elimination of the Soviets in the pocket. So that's really going to hinder us. I may try the Hungarians, because actually last turn some of the Romanians and Hungarians actually got Soviet, like stacks of Soviets to surrender. Maybe we'll test it out that way. Oh man, did they pull out here? I wonder why. So they massed up here, and then they pulled back? Same here. Interesting. Oh, okay, so there's a lot more Soviets than I thought. We may just pull back and hang back by the Dnieper. If it's going to be bad weather, it's not going to help us at all. Pushing to the Crimea. Alright, well, that was interesting. Mud. Well, we were very fortunate for 2 turns, 2 weeks of clear skies that allowed us to seal the deal with this encirclement of over 50 Soviet divisions. Not that it even made an impression on the Soviets manpower wise, because they just pulled them out of a hat and send them to the front. Alright, well, this is my discouragement at seeing the mud. Alright. Well, we're gonna have to deal with it. And that dealing with it will be pretty much not doing anything except shuffling around, trudging through some mud, not fighting at all. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed. The after effects of the encirclement will happen next. And where the Germans will go from there remains to be seen, and almost wholly dependent on good weather. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. This is First Fire Non-Assault Move out.